So, hello, Tracy.
Hi,
Welcome.
Jane.
Welcome on the podcast of Blah Blah No Should With Grace, Season 2. I'm so
Ooh.
honored of your presence today because it's been a long time coming. So, we've always talked about you being on the podcast, sharing your work. And today, I'm so grateful and honored to have you on the new episode.
Oh,
So,
thank you so
I
much.
I already know you, darling. Yes, I called you darling. So I know the bubbly Tracy. I know the Tracy who was coming at work with all sort type of hair. And I want, and I really want for you to share who you are with all the other people out there.
Okay, where do I start? My name is Tracey Njoki Maguta, and as Grace has said, I have more than one side to me. I have the sassy side, the quiet side, you know, as you can tell, even the hair today is just cool Tracy. So today we are getting cool Tracy with an extra you know. But yes, I'm Kenyan. I currently live in Kenya. I miss you, Hans. So the weather, I think the weather is not bad.
I
That's
can
what I
see the
can
sun.
say.
I can see the sun glistening on the glowy skin. So I can see.
Don't be fooled. I'm seated next to a window.
So the reason why I wanted to have you today on the podcast is because I saw your evolution. So when you were in Mauritius, you were always passionate about skincare, about makeup, and we always had chats about growing in terms of creating our business, growing in terms of personal growth. And I think since you went to Kenya, I saw the evolution and the amazing things you've been doing. I'm so proud because I remember when you took off for Kenya, I gave you the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I think you've been living that philosophy ever since. So
I think I have.
can you share with us how was that transition from you living in Mauritius and now settling in Kenya in your country?
Oh my God. To be honest, it was not an easy transition. Sometimes I still feel like I'm in Mauritius, even when I'm here. I don't think that part of my life is ever going to go away. So, and side note, I do want to come back for vacation. So I'm hoping for an invite after this.
Oh my God. I can't wait to see you again. So,
Yes,
um, ever since you've been in Kenya, I saw you created your brand, Bodie Glow. But before that, I really want to highlight something. So when you was in Mauritius, you had your skin with tea, your skin with
yes,
page on Insta. So that's where you were nourishing your community about everything skincare, how to take care of your skin, the beauty tips and tricks. So I think it was the starting point of you creating your brand afterwards. Can you share that
yes.
about that passion, which then developed into you creating your own brand?
Okay, so before I get to that, I think I'll give you a backstory with me and skincare. So I think before we recorded, when we first had our meeting about doing this podcast, I started asking myself, where does this love for skincare come from? You know? And I'm gonna tell you, it was while I was showering that I remembered all these moments, and I think they're very significant. So number one, I started my skincare journey, I think, at the age of 10, 12, and I was stealing all my mom's skincare products. So we used to have a brand in Kenya called Oriflame, and my mother used to buy the product. Mind you, I didn't know how to use these products. I had no clue. But every weekend when she'd make me clean her room, girl, let me tell you, I would clean that room, and my incentive was using her skincare products. So I guess at one point I remember I used a wash as something that should just sit on my face because it smelled so good. That was it. you know. And again, my mom was also into trying out products, and I would to see her use these products on her face, and I was like, this sounds very nice. So I wasn't using them correctly, but yeah, so my skincare love started at that age. I had to remember that. Fast forward to when I went to university, just before I came to Mauritius, I lived with my grandma. And while I was living with my grandma, I used to see her make her own, body lotion and call it a lotion. So what she would do is she would go to the supermarket, like on Saturday, would take her to the supermarket, and then she would buy a lotion from a well-known brand. Then she would buy a cream, like a body cream. And then we'd go to the chemist and get, I can't remember the name of that ointment, but it was a specific ointment. And then there's a product in Kenya we call Aremis. It's like Vaseline. And then we'd get that. And we're not getting the smaller in tubs because she's making something for like 6 months. Then that is on Saturday. On Sunday, she'd be like, today in the afternoon, this is what you're doing. We'd get all those products and start mixing. And you should have seen us, with the spatula.
Oh, nice.
And you know what? One of the gels she was never using, mixing all those things. And when I tell you, when we used that, everyone would be like, what are you using on your skin? Why is your skin looking so good? And she'd be like, I make my own. So I guess my love for formulating now with my business comes from there. So now when I was in Mauritius, I went through a period where I had really bad acne. Do you remember when I first started out?
We had several conversations about, I remember at some point you were searching for products that were not found in Mauritius itself and in UK, so pages that were affiliated to the UK. So that's what I was saying. I saw that evolution, and that's authentic. Like the purpose of creating your brand, it has its roots. So I remember.
It has its roots. And then now, so that Skincare by T can be formed, I had a friend, and she was a colleague to both of us. I don't know if can I use her company name?
Yeah.
I don't remember Alice.
No.
Oh man. So
sorry, Alice.
You and I had a colleague, and her name was Alice. That's her company name. Let me use that name. So Alice and I, we were of a darker skin tone. She was a bit darker than I. And we were always about, we don't even need sunscreen. We have the melanin, so why do we need sunscreen? But also our skin was, I know, we're just like, we're surviving on our melanin. But
you know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking? There's Lewis. He says to me every time when you go out, put your sunscreen.
Oh my God, we had so many conversations with Lewis. He's also, I just love that when I got into skincare, I had so many people around me then that were really into this thing. And it was like a journey we were all in together and discovering products. But with Alice, because we used to live together and we used to go for shopping, we started experimenting with skincare. So the very first product I ever tried was a mask. And I honestly bought the mask because it smelled like chalk. And that was it. I didn't really know about the ingredients or anything. But when it started working, I was curious, what is this about this particular product that is helping me out? It wasn't really helping me out, but for me, since I hadn't used anything on my face before, well, aside from when I was 12 and used mix matching my mother's products, I was like, it's helping because now I could see my skin was slowly looking soft. Now, it went on for like a couple of months, and now I started getting into watching YouTube. It became like a mini obsession. I remember all my Pinterest boards were on skincare. Whatever I was watching on YouTube was skincare. There's, skincare by Hiram. You know Hiram?
No, me and skincare. You see, I need to take a. I hope you will
just
send
holla
products. Oh, by the way, do you do international shipping for your products?
Yes, I do.
We'll come to that later.
Yes. So there were a lot of, let's say, like skincare gurus who they didn't have like a background in let's say like dermatology or being an esthetician, but there are people who looked into these ingredients and they would tell you, okay, this would probably work for certain skin. I can tell you why. I remember one of my most focal people I used to watch all the time was someone called Susan Yara. She's the owner of Naturium, or Mixed Makeup on Instagram. She's called Mixed Makeup. I think her and Jackie Aina, I learned a lot about skincare from them. And that's literally where my obsession started. So the very first person we experimented, aside from myself, was with Alice. So I would use Pinterest, look at the ingredients, and then check up how these ingredients would work on the skin. And I'll tell her, get this and this and this will work on your skin. So now when that worked and it worked on me, and even at the office, whenever we talk, we'd always bring this thing about skincare up. And I remember you are the person who made me get skincare, Skin with Tea, the page, because you're like, you have all this information, put it on and share with people. And I was there, should I not? I was just feeling very tired.
I'm so proud.
So that's where it came back. We even wrote, I remember we wrote down and just like, yeah, just have an Instagram page. I think by then you had not started Blah Blah Shoe.
Yeah.
But you were still into blogging, Yes. So that's where skincare with Tea started.
And look where we are today. I'm so proud of you. You see, sometimes we have like a passion, but we don't put into action things that will bring us a bit further. So I'm so happy that you had a passion. We talked about having like a little page, and here you are now having your own brand, which is amazing. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to have you here, to show people that if you want to be an entrepreneur, and first of all, to start something and make an impact on other people's skin or anything, you can get started. So you are
true.
So when you were,
I feel shy every time somebody says that. It still hasn't set in that I actually have a skincare brand. It hasn't set in.
That's the imposter.
I don't know. It's better set in.
Be proud. Be proud.
Thank you.
You said something interesting. It's like, so you with Alice, you were like concocting some different recipes, but at that time, did you have like the idea of creating your brand, or was it only for experiments, or just for making your skin better, or you had the idea, maybe I can have my own brand?
I never had that idea. My thing was my confidence had really taken a hit. I remember, if you remember correctly, do you remember I used to wear a full face beads? Like I had invested so much in makeup. I used to have a full face bit in that Mauritian summer sun. You remember how hot it used to be? And that makeup never used to move because, again, I also looked at a setting spray that would just give me that, because underneath, I had a lot of discoloration and pimples. And to be honest, I didn't want people to see me like that. So me getting into skincare was just for me. It was just to have that confidence to not always have to wear makeup, because I'd have to wake up probably an hour early so that I can do all those things. Just, it was sort of an insecurity for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think I would ever give anybody skincare advice.
And what was that turning point where you said to yourself, okay, Tracey, I have all of my ingredients. I know my recipe for my products. Why not making a brand, Bodie Glow?
Okay, so people, I don't know, maybe I don't want to change the name, but the purpose why there's a dot before the E, I didn't want to just write normal Bodie Glow. So I wrote the body, because again, I think I will go back to the people around me. My friend Florinette, there's the way Florinette used to say her words, and body has that impact, the I, and then the E just stands for elegance for skin. That's it. That's why there's a dot before that. It's literally just Bodie Glow. But the dots separate why we are into skincare.
And what was that turning point where you realized, okay, let's make it a brand? Like not something for myself, but something for everyone to enjoy and have a better skin.
So I had never touched anything on body or ever given advice on what you should use on your body, because I was like, if your face is looking good, your skin is also looking great, but that is not always the case. So when I came back to Kenya, I still would give people advice for the face. And once in a while, somebody would be like, what about the body? So I would also tell them what to use on their body, but I wasn't essentially making them. And then I suffer from eczema. And sometimes the flare-ups are really crazy. And having been somebody who had already done some research, I was like, maybe I should experiment. Now this was a real experimentation, getting different ingredients and trying them out. So that's where Bodie Glow was literally just for me before anyone else. It was to combat my own issues, and not just my own, even that of my family, because even my brother has very sensitive skin, and sometimes he would use a product and it doesn't react well to him. And my sister and I, we have eczema, and the flare up sometimes they're really crazy. So I was going into it just to look for something to suit that pain without having to be on steroids or medication for eczema.
And your product has been helping you and your family a lot. So you see there's a change in your skin texture and the way it reacts.
Yes, 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 yes. Like I always say, my family, they're my guinea pigs. Because my family literally, my family, we have everything. We have people with eczema, we have people with sensitive skin, we have people with normal skin. So they are my first people I ever tried anything on them. So they would critique, yeah.
So okay. I'm
Mhm.
wondering, before putting your product out there, so you've been trying a lot, I guess. So tell us more
Yeah.
about how was that process and maybe the struggles, things you've learned along the way. How was it?
So before I even started, again, I will say, uh, as much as Body Glow is for myself, the support system around me has made it succeed. I remember even the very first ingredients I ever bought, I didn't buy with my own money. It's a friend of mine who sent me cash, and she believed in me because I had done a curation for her face. And she's like, I think you need to venture into this. Where are you looking? Do you want to get ingredients to make facial products? And I was like really skeptical. I was like, oh, what if it doesn't work out? So she was like, try with body products and see how it goes. So I started making the product. And when I tell you the challenges, girl, you're gonna laugh. So let's talk about the scrub, the body scrub. When
There's
I
five,
first started,
there's five,
no,
right? Oh, there's more now.
six, yeah, there's 6 cents of the
There's
scrub.
mint, vanilla, berry, mint, vanilla, berry. I forgot a bit.
Cafe Broom,
Okay,
and then
lilac.
we have Lilac Bliss, and then we have Plain Jane.
Yeah.
And I love my Plain Jane is my favorite again with somebody who has eczema. Like I love all my products, but I guess because this one has no fragrance or anything, it really it serves me, especially when I'm having my flare up. So the very first challenge I had is, it's not, I haven't gone to school to learn how to formulate this product. So I had to learn all these things online. And at first it was trial and error. My very first batch, I only made 12. They all sold out, yes. And most of the people who bought were my friends and family. And I promise you, that scrub was harder than anything you've ever seen. Like you would when you scoop it, it would break, like it completely crumbles up because of how hard it was. And to say, I was like, is it ever going to get better than this? And when I engage with a client and I'm like, so how did you find this? Come and tell me, oh, it was really nice. But even to me, I'm still saying, I think I can do better. And then, no. Yes, so I didn't, after the first one, I learned, I started again experimenting. The good thing with formulating is you get time to experiment. So now I experimented in my second batch. It was better, but now it was separating. One of my best friends, she's called Damaris. She bought a product, and when it arrived, like you could see, it had already separated. Half of it was sugar, and then you could see the oil was up. And even when she opened it, she sent me a video of her unboxing it. She opened, I could already see in her, like, oh. But then when she was talking to me, she's like, oh, it was very nice, but just that it had separated. And these things would make me feel, they would make me feel really disappointed because I'm like, I want to do the best. And now I've kept perfecting it. And even now I'm still perfecting. Sometimes I keep changing. And I also look at what my clients like and I keep changing. So that is the body scrub. Then the very first butter I made, oh my God. Again, it was very hard, very, very hard, because it was coming from a place of I'm just getting these two ingredients, mixing them up, and that's the end of it, you know. But that's not how it turned out. When you make a small batch, it looks perfect, but when you make
Yeah.
in large volume, sometimes there are mistakes here and there. So it was very crazy. Even like pricing them, I would have to change even the just like now I know I have a standard size, but by then I would go from 300 grams, I would have 250, like there's no standardization. It's like I was just literally trying it out, you know. So those were the main challenges. And I was so scared even selling them because I always felt like somebody would come and tell me, the product is not nice. And I will say for now, I haven't received that. I feel like everybody who's bought, they're a bit kinder. They're very kind, even when they're giving me the review on how to change this. And even when they buy from me again and they're like, oh, now you're doing better. See, now that gives me the motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's great. That's nice. So you always tell me that you're continuously learning, continuously taking feedbacks in order to improve your project. And this is great.
Yeah.
So you've gone a long way. I want to ask you, what's the purpose? You've already told us that you created the skincare products because you had the need for that. But if you had to tell someone about your brand, what is the purpose? Maybe tagline. What do you want people to feel when they have your project in their hands?
Luxury. Like literally, my tagline is luxury in a jar. Luxury doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg, the skincare products are not cheap. They are not cheap. But I want you to, like, for me, my happiness is seeing somebody use my products and their skin looks better. Like that skin is just glowing, you can take a cracker and just because it feels like butter, it looks like butter, It's just that glow. That glow is my favorite thing on this planet. Seeing people glow it's everything to me. So luxury, luxury, but at a reasonable price.
Yeah. That's interesting because the last time we spoke, you told me that when you came back from Mauritius to Kenya, one thing that was really that compelled you was the price of the skin products in Kenya. So you're trying to have like an alternative for people that maybe can't afford to pay for like high price in Kenya. So how is it the skin products in Kenya, and maybe you're trying to meet those people halfway?
Yeah. So the thing is, skincare and body care, I feel like we should differentiate that because most of the times, whatever you use on your face, you can't really put on your body because of the price point. You cannot take your snail mucin and lather it on your body the way you would do it on your face. And because like they tell you only the pea size, can you imagine putting a pea size on your skin? Where will you feel it, And there are other ingredients that are perfect for the body. Things like one of my favorites, it has to be shea butter. I love shea butter. I have a story for that. Like, let me just tell you this. So when I first started out, I bought those ingredients and I bought shea butter. And by then my sister was at home. So my mother had given me a specific allocation for where I was putting all my ingredients. But that day I had left my shea butter out. So when my sister came, she wanted to make popcorn and she didn't see shea butter. She saw butter.
You ate shea butter popcorn.
Yes.
Did it taste good at least?
It did taste good. It tasted very nutty. I'm not going to lie. So we had popcorns made of shea butter. Can you imagine? Like to date, I still don't understand it. Like I was eating and I'm why is this smelling like shea butter? But so when we talked about this, like I haven't really ventured into skin yet. But when it comes to body products, there's a lot in the market. True. So mine was I'm bringing a product that it's not going to change how your skin appears. If you're still dark skinned, you're going to keep your it's not going to change you. What I'm trying to say is not going to change the pigment of your skin, but it's going to elevate how that skin looks.
Nice.
It's going to give you that glow. It's going to give you that hydration. And lessen if your skin was very dry or very dull, it's no longer dull. It's looking very vibrant. Like you can see. Can you see my skin? Like
Yeah.
I look like I'm just
You're
ready
the proof. You're the proof that your cream works.
Yeah.
So okay, so you use ingredients that are here to elevate your skin, not to like change it like drastically with like maybe chemicals and everything. You try to use ingredients that are for your skin and yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I also try to educate people, like even my clients, and they're asking, okay, what does it contain? Because I always get that question, what is in your product? And actually this, like they are handmade and I normally use natural or naturally derived. But as I'm learning, I'm realizing there are certain chemical ingredients that are also amazing for the skin. So it's not about just ensuring that it's natural, but also being mindful about the side effects of certain, ingredients. And so even when I'm selecting ingredients that are not natural, I have to look at the pros and the cons. And if they don't weigh properly, I'm like, this is not an ingredient I want to try.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And for the moment, in your brand line, so you said there's like six scrubs, and then you have body butter as well. Can you tell us more about like what can people expect to have in your product catalog?
Well, for now we actually have 3 products. Yeah. And I've also dabbled in one more that I kind of think is an occasional thing, but I love it. And like I said, before I roll out an ingredient, is it something I would use? Is it something that is going to benefit me first? Because I feel like as long as I am the brand, right? And if I'm not using my brand, then what am I communicating? So it has to be something that I love, that even when I use, I am proud to show off. So for now, we also have hair. We also have a hair oil.
That's for later.
Yes. We have a hair oil, but with time, I hope to expand my brand, not just for body products, but maybe to have like a niche for the skin, for facial products now. Yeah.
Okay.
And great. More. Wink, wink.
So the first place where you sell your product is on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yes. That's where you've built your community on your Instagram.
Actually, the first product I sold was on TikTok. So a big part of my following and my community is from TikTok as well.
Okay.
So TikTok and Instagram, and I know I should also have Facebook, but for some reason I'm not really huge on Facebook.
Or a website, important. You can have your whole line of catalog.
The website is in the works.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So now we've already talked about the skin products, the scrubs, the body butter, and you've talked about hair product. I think this is something very, very important, and I really want you to share that story because there's so much meaning behind that. So let's set everything to everyone. So having curly hair can be difficult. It's not an we always
do you remember? Let me remind you something. Do you remember? Yes, it is important. Do you remember that time we left work and we were talking about the different ingredients used on our hair? We were heading home that evening and you're telling me about all the things you've tried with your hair. Remember?
Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. And I remember how you were talking about maybe struggles that you had with your hair because we have to educate people that curly hair, we have different textures. My
Yes.
texture might be maybe easier than your texture or anyone else. And
Yeah.
there needs to be different products to cater for those different types of hair. Because we have
Yes.
curly hair that can absorb water, others can be more difficult. So having curly hair is an experience. I always say it is a part-time job, and I think you're the best person to share that. And you
Yeah.
created a hair product called
Teirrah.
Teirrah for your sister because she had
Yes.
issues with her hair. Can you please
Yeah.
tell us more about the story? Because I think it's very important. How your sister struggled with her hair and how did you come up with that product?
Okay, so the hair oil is called Teirrah, and literally Teirrah is my sister calls herself Teirrah, but it's what can I say? It's the backwards of her name. It's literally named after her. And why I chose this specific brand, like as I love all my other products, but I think my hair oil is very close to my heart. So let's backtrack to 2020 when I came back. When I came back, my sister has lush hair, like thick, thick hair, but she had no hairline. Like even when she would shave her hair, it would come back. She has no hair around the edges. And even to like this side, no hair, but up here, full, full, full. And it's not hair that breaks, but she had no hairline. And I would ask her, what is happening? What are you using? And I could see her trying all these things. She's like, oh, I don't even know why I'm losing hair. And she would always be in what do you call this? In a
Braids?
no, in a Marvin. She doesn't do her hair because we felt like probably also manipulating
Can
it too much
can pull, yeah,
contributing.
can pull her hair. So she was having
Yes.
scarf on her hair.
The Marvin, is it called a Marvin? Yeah, it's called a Marvin. In Kikuyu, we have a different name for it, but yeah.
Bangs.
Not bands, a hat, Marvin, the ones we wear during cold season.
No, I don't know. That's
It's
fine.
I
We
think
will add pictures.
yes. So she was always wearing, let me remove my side. She was always wearing a Marvin to cover up her hair. When you tell her to take pictures, she would be like, let me go get my hat. She would either have a hat on, a hoodie on, or there was just something covering her hair all the time, especially when she was at home. At school, she cannot escape that. But when she's at home, she can get away with, having something cover her scalp. And I could see it was taking a toll on her. Even every time we tell her, it's time for you to go back to school and you're already losing your hairline. So just shave so that we see if this other hair is good. I remember one time I shaved her hair. And girl, when I tell you what I shaved her hair with, you won't believe it.
What?
I used, the dermaplaning tool for the skin.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
what, yeah, that's what we used. And when I tell you, her hair had a lot of dandruff as well.
Mhm.
She had a lot of dandruff. So when now when you look, I think she had her own conditions, and then we we didn't take her to see a skincare consultant, you know. So I took it on myself to try something for her and see how it works. So this making this product, we did the research together with her. And when I stumbled upon moringa powder, I asked her, do you know anything about moringa powder? She's like, yeah, everybody tells me it's superfood for my hand. I was like, okay, good. That was the end of that discussion. When she said she'd heard about moringa powder being good for skin, for her hair, I was set on, I had to use that as an ingredient in the product. So when we were formulating, we literally formulated with that. She didn't help me choose the oils, but the main ingredient, she literally decided this is
You
the
had
main
your say.
ingredient. She had a say. So now when we first made it, I actually made the oil and the butter. And the butter had a lot of the specks from the powder
Yeah.
because I hadn't really filtered it out. So even when you put it on your scalp, you'd have, those like dust particles on your hair, not the moringa powder
Yeah.
particles in your hair. but she loved using it. And when she went to school and came back, we had started seeing a transformation in her hair. That was last year around May, June. I started experimenting with this product last year in May. So fast forward now to December, you could see like her roots were coming back and they were healthier. And I looked at her and I was like, do you want to make this for selling? She said yes. And that is how we have Teirrah hair oil now on the market.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
you've tried it on your sister, you saw that it made a difference. Her hair
Yes.
grew, and I think that's
Yeah.
amazing, the story. I hope that you can help other people because, as I said, having curly hair can sometimes be a struggle if you don't have the right ingredients and products. So
yes, and it's not just about the hair, it's also about the scalp.
Yeah.
Because I don't think most of us are educated enough to know about things like there's something like you can have eczema on your head. Mm-hmm. It's called atopic dermatitis. People think that is dandruff, but it's not dandruff. It's literally your skin is peeling, and it's from using certain products. Some people are sensitive to fragrance. Some people are sensitive to certain ingredients in shampoos. And when you continue using these things, they also they harm your scalp. And we're told the scalp is also a breathing thing. So what is a breathing organ. So whatever you put on it is going to be a reflection. Yeah. And I remember I actually saw a video on a lady talking about that atopic dermatitis. It caused her to have to shave her whole head. Like it had come all the way to the front here. She had to shave her whole head because now that is a skincare condition you have to handle on its own. And if you have hair, whether it's straight, curly, kinky hair, if you have something like atopic dermatitis and it's at that level, you have no choice but to lose all your hair,
Okay.
And it's also something, even my own mom, I know for her, she had started losing hair in the middle. And every day she'd be like, oh, up to today, I promise you, when her hair is open, she'll call my brother and tell her, is my hair growing here? Is my hair growing here? And now I can see there's a change. Her hair is also growing. And hair growth is not instant. Hair growth takes time. You don't put the oil today and tomorrow there's a sprout. It does not work like that. It takes time, but you also need to have proper care. What I'm saying is I'm advocating for people to be more mindful with what they put on their skin. Be more mindful. Don't just trust what Tracey is telling you. Do your research too. There's power in knowing what you're using. Yes. Because now, you see, when I go somewhere and look at ingredients, I'll be like, okay, this is something good for me. But if I'm not seeing an ingredient list or I'm not understanding what is in this, I'm like, should I put this on my face? What happens? Or should I use this hair oil or, something like that? Aside from that, this oil also helps with dandruff. Personally, I don't really suffer from dandruff. Maybe once in a while. I do have a very sensitive scalp though. And you see, like for braids, I have to use apple cider to wash before having them, braided. I have to have the braids washed because if I don't do that, I'm going to itch so bad. And to reduce that itchiness, this oil I've had, can I say this now here? I've had this hair for almost over a month. And when I tell you I don't really itch now, it's true. So that oil has really also helped me in terms of ensuring my scalp is not dry. And yeah. And also to grow I don't know, can you see I think my edges are growing. Oh, they're coming back. They're coming back.
And is it suited for, is it only for curly hair or is it suited for different types of hair?
It's suited for all hair types. I will let you know. One of my clients who happens to be my neighbor, the husband uses the hair oil on his beard.
Oh, nice. So you've been getting a lot of great feedbacks.
Yeah, for now I've been getting great feedback. And I guess people are also enjoying the fact that, it has peppermint and menthol. So it has that cooling effect. Nice. And in this hot sun, that cooling effect is everything.
Nice. So yeah. That's you've been doing that. How long have you been to Kenya?
I've been in Kenya for 2 years.
So
2 years
within
now.
these 2 years, you've created Bodie Glow, your skin brand. Now you've created your hair oil. And the next step, I think, is all about feet.
Why are you revealing everything?
Sorry, it's hot now. So I remember we were chatting and you told me, Mary Grace, the next step would be to create cream for feet. I was like, that girl, she will never stop. She will never
I
stop.
will never
That,
stop.
and that's what I love about you is that
Oh,
you're
thank you.
constantly evolving, trying to come up with different types of products. So that's amazing. Now you're the baby
Yeah.
entrepreneur of
Yeah.
like Tracey Maguta,
Yes.
a big entrepreneur in Kenya.
Oh my God.
You are on the road because you're doing great things.
It hasn't been an easy one. I will not lie
Yeah.
to you. It has not, because I second guess myself. I don't know how other entrepreneurs work, but for me, even whenever I see somebody's like, oh, I would want to purchase your products, at first I'm really excited, and when it goes, I start feeling, oh my God, are they going to tell me they love the products? Of course, we all expect everybody to love our products, but that is not possible. We have different skin, we all react differently to products. But sometimes I'm always expecting, oh, it's amazing. So if I don't get that treasure, like, oh, I did do a good job. I haven't gotten somebody who told me it's not amazing, but there's always an
I
area where I
hear
can
a
improve
little
on.
anxiety. Mm-mm.
Yes, I get that anxiety. Even when I'm asking for these reviews, I get that anxiety because I'm like, what
What
if
would
this
they
is the
say?
client who tells me, oh, you're just bullshitting us. Sorry for using that term, your products don't work. They don't do anything,
Yeah.
you know? Sometimes I'm always like, when is the other shoe going to fall? I know it's not a good way to think like that.
But no, being an entrepreneur is vulnerable as well because yes, you're working on your products, you're trying your best to create the best product, but now when you give someone the product, maybe it doesn't go with their skin or maybe it's not what they expect. So being an entrepreneur is very difficult. And what I
Yeah.
liked about what you've said during the whole interview, you've mentioned your family a lot. You've mentioned how you've been doing the products for your family, and you've mentioned how your family uses your product. I think when your small circle is here cheering you up, I think that keeps you going.
Hey, sorry.
Yes, no
My
worries.
it's my internet that was messing.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, I was saying that, when your smallest circle is here cheering you up, I think that's the best thing because that is what keeps you going. And even me, like when I create my things, I know my grandma, my mother, and Seb, he's always cheering up for me. And even the slightest positive comments means the world. So I think support is the first pillar when creating a business. And that's
Oh,
amazing that your family is here for you.
support is very important. And to be honest, in as much as I have that anxiety with my clients, I have a big anxiety with my family, because they're the people who try my product first. So, and I will not lie, my biggest critic and my biggest champion is my mom. My mom is going to market my products, but when I have not done my best, she doesn't tell me in a bad way, but she'll use that cream like,
Mm.
this one is, when she makes that comment, I'm like, okay. And then when she tries something and she loves it, she's like, oh, this one is good. You're doing a good job. And that, there's just, it makes me feel so happy
Yeah.
when she loves that particular product, so I know that is the standard. And my brother too. Like I already know they did not like me and tell me, oh, this is a good product, but it's not. They would do that to me.
The hardest critics, but the best critics, which is very much
Yes.
needed when creating your business. So I love that we're talking about, the entrepreneur stuff, things that people don't see in the background, in the behind the
Yeah.
scenes. And I remember one of our conversation, you were talking about how when you created a business now, you had to deal with the non-glamorous stuff, the finance, the tax, all of that stuff. I really want to maybe dig a bit deeper in that subject because I think it's part of entrepreneurship. It's not always glamorous. It's not always about marketing or selling product. It is a lot of administrative stuff. So one of my first question would be, how would you define your whole entrepreneurship journey since the beginning?
I feel like if I said challenging is a good word. In the sense of it has helped me come out of my shell. Because as you know, I'm a very shy person. I know it's like,
Let
I
me
know.
science
How, yes, how does that make sense? But in essence, is those people who know me, they know me as a very sassy, I'm very opinionated. But if you don't know me, I'm just very quiet. So most of the time, like the past 1 year, you wouldn't see my face on my page a lot. You'd only see, and I was gearing more towards just marketing and I just put up a post and I'm out. But now I'm also learning to give that human touch, so that people, even people to know who I am and not just my journey, but who the person behind the brand. So it has helped me, to be honest. Owning this business has helped me come out of my shell. I'm still learning, but I am getting there. Number two, the other thing that has been challenging, like we said, it has to be the financial side. I really suck at math. And I know I say that and it sounds strange, but when it comes to numbers, I really suck at numbers. Right now, I've even had to have a friend of mine. She decided to help me out to help me out with my finances because it's a real problem for me. I'm good behind the scenes, creating the brand. If I was left to my workshop the whole day, just tell me, Tracy, stand there. Your work is to whip and package. I'm in my happy place. you know, but it can't be like that. I also have to showcase this product. I also have to champion for this product, and I'm still learning and adjusting to being that person, to even going out of my way to strike up conversations with even strangers and converting this to being clients. Like I'll tell you, I didn't think this was possible. So last year on Instagram, this Instagram has also made me connect a lot with different entrepreneurs, especially women, which is a plus for me. I think we've spoken about this and how I'm always championing for more women, to show up for yourself. So I attended a digital marketing class. And one of our facilitators was like, in as much as you're selling amazing products, you need to show the person behind the brand.
Yeah.
Show who you are, show up for yourself, keep showing up for your business. It's not just posting and going. It's also give us that human touch. Show us you using that product, like I would show my leg when I'm using the product, but you never see my face.
Can I just say something? Because what you're saying resonates so much with me. Because, yes, I have a podcast where I show myself mainly on the podcast, but it's rare that I will share myself on the stories and stuff. I don't know. I think it's a shyness, and I think it's very difficult to put yourself out there. And I'm trying slowly show the person behind the brand, but it's such a challenge too, because I think it doesn't come naturally for a lot of people. And I resonate a lot about what you just said. And I think it's very important to show that there is someone working behind, there is someone who loves the community and wants to connect with the community differently. It's very important.
Yes, and I just have to say, you are doing an amazing job. You know how Chris Jenner, you're doing good, honey. You are doing amazing.
Thank you.
I love seeing what you're doing, because even having blah blah podcast, it is something you had wanted for a long time. I feel like now I am back in Mauritius, and it feels like it was just 5 days ago, right? We were at work talking about these things,
we kept in touch.
You're doing well.
Thank you.
And you are one of the people who've really kept, you've kept me going. It's not just encouraging me, but you supporting me, even sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I would send you a voice. I'd be like, darling, don't worry. It's now that you're feeling like this, but it's going to get better. I
Yeah.
still remember, even beside the business, if there's one thing I took from you, even when we're in Mauritius, is being grateful. Remember, we had that conversation about every day writing down what you're grateful for?
Yeah.
I do that to date. I
Yeah.
do that today. And I am very grateful for that one lesson has taught me a lot. Being
Wow.
grateful.
I'm so
It
happy.
has taught me. Yes. So you are doing an amazing job. You are doing an amazing job.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Back to you
Give,
now. So
give,
you said you were in the marketing class where you were networking with women's.
yes. Actually, the whole class, it was a class of only women, which was amazing too. I'm not saying that we shouldn't also have men in these spaces. We are always championing for equity, and equity means all genders have the same resources, and they are all being uplifted in a similar way, or they're being championed to be better at a specific area, because we all want to
Yeah.
excel. It's not about gender or anything. But that class was amazing. These are different entrepreneurs. There was one lady who was making clothes. They're handmade clothes here in Kenya, and they source their brand outside the end. The clothes are amazing. There was one person selling jewelry. There was one in the flower business. One was a social media manager. You see, now meeting all these different people, and even me meeting the owner of it's the forum was by Wild Digital. Even me meeting this lady was literally from me following another entrepreneur on my social media page. And for her, she had attended the class already, and she and I were talking. So when I saw she had attended the class, I was like, okay. And I love her page. She makes candles. And to be honest, her page, just like the name of her brand, which is Bougie Sense, is bougie. Is bougie. It looks amazing. So it's connecting with all these different people and also picking something from them and learning. Yeah.
Nice. You have to go on
Mhm.
LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is I think it's one of the platform that entrepreneurs should go in order to network and, build relationship
Yes.
with other people. That's great. So,
Yes.
and we didn't talk about something. You are doing all of this while working as well. So you have a full-time job or a part-time job?
I do have a full-time job now.
Full-time job.
And it's an 8 to 5 job.
You see, so it's possible
Yeah.
to be an entrepreneur while juggling a 9 to 5 job. And
But I used to think it was easy, but it's not easy because you know what happens? My job sometimes entails me going to the field for long periods of time, maybe 3 days, 4 days. And to be honest, sometimes if I don't plan the next month what I will be showing on my pages, I end up lagging behind. And it feels like I'm focusing more of my energy on one thing and not on my baby because Body Glow is my baby. Ah, Body Glow is, Tracy in a
yeah,
jar.
yeah, tracing the job. What
Yes.
going like? Because consistency and discipline, I think, are again a pillar of creating a business. If you're not consistent or if you don't have discipline, I think you won't go that far. However, when you have a job, and then if you're studying, doing courses here and there, it's even more difficult. What would you say
Yeah.
is maybe the thing that keeps you going and that helps you stay consistent with your brand?
I'm just going to be real, to be very real, and start with one of the basic points. I love skincare. I could live, breathe, and eat skincare every single day. So one, it's my passion for skincare that hasn't made me abandon Body Glow. Because it's easy to give up. As you can see, like I'm not very right now, I haven't even been posting on my skincare with tea, you know. So I am really consistency is something I am still learning. You'd think by now I've figured it out, but I haven't. So it's something like constantly showing up for my business every day, waking up, and I'm like, the first thought in my head is I have to put up something for Body Glow, has also kept me accountable. And now that I know I also have another job, and to be honest, it's not just one. Girl, you know that story of Jen of all trades? I feel like I'm there now because I'm also passionate about content creation, and sometimes I also double that on the side. and I also make, other things. But there's the passion and then there's the reward, which is the money. And one of my key points, I think, up to now has always been I want to be financially independent. I want financial freedom. And for me, financial freedom represents having more than one stream of income.
Yeah.
So it's having more than one stream of income, but also trying to be disciplined enough to ensure that all these streams of income, I'm giving them equal opportunities. But I will not lie and say that I do Body Glow 24/7 is alive. It's not true. I always ensure I plan, but I plan and I try to stick to it. But there are days when I fall, and when I fall back.
But when you
There are days,
fall, you get up and become stronger.
yeah. Now I'm also learning not to be so critical about myself and be like, yeah, I understand this. I couldn't focus on it this time, but that doesn't mean that I'll let it go. No, it just means that when I come back, I have to plan for longer, so that now there's no that gap.
Yeah.
So planning is necessary, and as I'm saying that, I need to start proper planning.
You said something, yeah, you said something very, very interesting. It's about like stopping criticizing yourself. And what I've learned along the way is that, there's always room for improvement. And we have like an inner child in ourselves, an inner child that has went through struggles, pain, and everything. So sometimes we have to stop and take care of that inner child and say, okay, Mary Grace, Tracey, you're doing freaking amazing. You have to cheer up that inner child because that inner child suffered a lot, suffered through pain. She knows where she's been through. And now where she is, she has to be cheered up. So I think it's very important to just say, wow, Tracey, you're doing great. That's
thank you.
I think that is important because we can always do better, but we will learn along the way.
Yes. And I'll pick something from this week, the meeting where I was. My boss was talking about, having gratitude even for the smallest thing. For the longest time, my name is Tracey and I am a victim of this. I never get to enjoy the short-term achievements, It's like, okay, so I've achieved this, what's next? But now it's like I have to take time, to just even not just to treat myself, but to just say I am proud of how far I have come. Not just on my entrepreneurship side, but also in my personal life. Because I know I have gone through a lot of things, but also the growth aspects, trying to shake off certain habits, looking at where I need to be and being that girl, that girl that my younger self wanted to be. It's not even about who I wanted. I am trying to be in touch with my younger self because my younger self wanted to be somewhere, and there are days when I know I am heading there, but there are days, when there's like a short detour for a certain period, but then I come back. So,
but yeah. Can I just say that I think within those 2 years, it's not me trying to boast you, but it's trying to be frank. What I've realized is your mindset has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the several chats we've had, phone calls and everything, there is your brand is Bodie Glow. That's glowing in terms of mindset as well. Through our conversation, I saw that there's that positivity. And there is something which is different. It's a light that is shining. So keep that light shining because you've been through a lot and you've been growing a lot. So through that 2 years, you've been climbing mountains before. Oh, yeah.
Coming from somebody who's seen me even when I was you remember how negative I used to be?
Yeah.
Like, but again, all these are lessons I had to learn to get to where I am. And it's a good thing I met someone like you along the way, because you are one of the people who really helped me change my mindset. Because even from our discussions, the way you would think about things is not the same way I used to think about things, but your outlook towards life was very positive, has always been positive, and I still think to date, when I think of Mary Grace, the first thing that comes to my head, aside from darling, is positivity, and not being that toxic positivity, but it's being positive even when you're going through your own issues, or you're not excelling as you expected to, but finding positive things to even think about yourself, even during those hard times. And that's amazing. Like, girl,
Thank
I
you.
don't think you understand the kind of magnitude you have towards, those small discussions. I'm sure I'm not the only one. When you speak even to our mutual friends, they will tell you what I'm telling you,
Oh,
you
that's
know. Yeah.
that's
And
nice.
speaking of which, I love your necklace. I've just been staring at it.
You know
I
what?
love it.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying it. So I love local brands.
Yes.
So this one is from Lust Aiden. I've been wearing it
Oh,
for like months. And this one as well are from Lust Aiden. So I love it.
can I get them? I want the rings too. I want the rings. I want everything.
Yeah. So the rings are not local. But when
Uh,
we
I, re- I I remember the one. There's one I remember, the silver one.
it's from Mia. Yes, for these one, I've been wearing them for years. So these are from
Yes.
Miami. And when I left the
Mm-hmm.
previous job, so the team gave this to me. So these are stars. So I always see the stars are with me still. So I always
Yes.
have them with me. So yeah. But these are
Oh,
local ones. So I will share the page with you.
yes.
So now there's a few questions. Just
Okay.
just to finish everything. Um what I want to ask you, what does the future unfolds? But since you have a brain that goes right and left and you have a lot of ideas, so just I know you want to be more knowledgeable on the cosmetic world and everything. So is it a project you're considering, maybe studying in that domain?
Yes. Yes. Right now, with having taken a break from school for like 2 years now, as I look towards the future, there are two things that I would love to do. One is to get my certificate in cosmetology, and not just cosmetology, I would want to be a fully fledged esthetician, so that when I'm giving you advice for your skin, it's not coming from just the research, but I also have that backing,
Okay. Mm-mm.
Yes, so that has always been my goal, and it will still remain to be my goal, being an esthetician. Yes. Am I forgetting something else?
Mm, oh, another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have two last
Mhm,
questions.
mhm.
So, what advice will you give to an entrepreneur who wants to get started in the skincare realm?
Can I just come close and speak to that person? Love, just do it. I will tell you, just do it and learn along the way. Because we all have this thing of, oh, I'll do it when I get better. But the thing is, when you say I'll do it when I get better, how will you get better if you're not getting feedback or results? It has to start from, you always have to start from somewhere, and just celebrate those small glories you're going to get. I promise you, you will not get it right the first time. Like I already told you, I don't have any of those products yet, but I have pictures and videos of how the product was. I'll give you an instance. I took the product to a makeup, not a makeup place, but a place where they do manicure and pedicure. So I gave them two types of foundations. My very first one that was very crumbling, and the one that I had just formulated, which is still there to date. So a lot of people gravitated towards the first one because of the scent, and not because of how effective it was. Because now when I was speaking to the owner, she was giving me the review, she would tell me when they're using your product, they have to mix it with another product to make it work. You see. But when she used the second one, she said, oh, this was very nice. And she actually recommended it to clients. The second one was very good. But you see, I had to put myself out there. I gave her one, the one I felt like I was very proud of, but you see, how I look at things is not the same way somebody else would look at it. And feedback is important for growth. So as somebody who's starting out in business, you can't have the my way or the highway kind of mindset.
Yeah.
It's not going to fly with a lot of people because people will always give you feedback, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. It's up to you to choose, what to pick and choose what is necessary for you. I will also give you another instance. To date, like I said, I'm still learning. So 2 weeks ago, not necessarily like a month and a half ago, I sent out a package and the lady gave me back the review. And from the review, she would tell me she loved the product, but she would want me to improve on a certain aspect, especially the fragrance side, because she wanted something that, is leaving the scent for much longer. And that is something that I'm continuously working on. But had I kept, had I not started, would I know that I need to work on that? You see? So you have to start from somewhere. Start small. Don't start big. We all have big dreams when you're starting our business. Like I promise you, I when I started, I was like, oh, this is going to be the next big thing in Kenya. But then I would get shocked because the other people doing the same thing, There's space for everybody to coexist. And don't, I think I saw, sorry, I'm going off topic, but I saw this trend on Instagram of, what was it? We'll have to come back to that. But it's all boiling down to you have to start small and grow from there because you will always grow. Oh, it was talking about, girl, I have this idea, but what if I do it and other people are doing it? I promise you, I think in the world we're living in right now, nothing comes in new. There are new inventions, yes, but in the field of skincare, I think by now we've seen almost all ingredients that can be used on skin. Let's just talk about the ingredients, not even the formulations. All the different ingredients, whether good or bad, we know about them. The things that can cause harm to your skin, the things that give you that glow, we've all seen them. And you can come in, maybe your invention is what is going to change, but it's not even about that invention changing. There's always space for you. You are going to have your own unique market, your own unique clients. Your clients will buy your product and probably buy from somebody else, but they might prefer your product because maybe there's that human touch to it, or there's just something particular about it they love. So start. And it's harder said than done. And I'm not just going to tell you, just sit down and start. No, plan first. Plan, have a plan. It's important to have a plan. Yes.
Great, amazing. And a last word for your community. I really want you to speak to your community and inspire other people and ask them to come visit you on your page to discover more about you.
Okay. Oh, so I am inviting all of you. My page on Instagram is _Bodie Glow. I'm sure you're going to tag the...
Yeah, every link will be down below.
Yes. So click on those links, follow my Instagram page, my TikTok page, engage with me. If you want to learn more about skincare, keep engaging with me. Florinette, my friend Florinette, whenever she would post my products, I would get somebody even from Mauritius requesting, can I have this sent to Mauritius? Then I hadn't even started sending anything out, But yeah, so follow more things to come, interact with me, ask me questions, propose. Like I also love, and getting into the mindset of a client, so recommend something that you think would want, and I will think about it, So it can either be a full-term thing or it can be a short-term basis. But I would say have gratitude. Gratitude is very important. And while you're pushing yourself, don't be too hard on yourself, because this world is not easy on anyone. So be that one person who's champion for yourself. Be your number one champion, champion for yourself. Call yourself out when you're making mistakes. Other people will call you out, but they're probably going to hurt your feelings. you will find a way to do it in a way that's not going to hurt your own feelings. So call yourself out. Look at those things that people keep pointing out and work on them to be a better version of yourself. Keep learning, keep wanting to evolve, because there's nothing good staying in one position. Growth in any aspect of our lives, it's necessary. It's necessary. Just like that plant. When you plant it, you expect it to grow and become something big. So it doesn't just sit there, it grows. A lot of things happen, and growth is not easy. It is not easy. It's not, but it's a journey I would advise anyone to be on.
Amazing. Thank you so much for all of these beautiful words. I'm really happy that you've been on the podcast today. It's such an honor for me. I'm so happy that you showed through your words. You told us your story about that journey in entrepreneur, how you've built your brand, and I can't wait for us to have another chat in the near future.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your generosity for coming here and sharing everything.
Anytime, Han, I'm here for you, but I have a question for you.
That's the first thing. Okay.
Yes, I have a question for you. So I know the year is still young, but what are the 3 things that you are being intentional in learning and growing, or just 3 things you're looking forward to this year?
3 things.
It can be personal, it can be work life, it can be all rounded. Okay. Anything.
So the first thing that comes in my mind is enjoying my alone time, bringing myself on date more often. I think this is something which is really important for me. And I think I need to do it more, because in those moments you get to know who you are and you get to love yourself. So I would say one of the things is to spend time more often with myself, bring myself on dates, in theaters, even lunch, dinner, anything.
Yes.
That's one thing. The second thing is that's your question is really hard. I think to keep learning. Keep learning, because I think the world is constantly evolving, and I think we are doing ourselves a good thing if we continue to learn. As you said, you're still learning marketing and everything. So one of the things I've been doing is learning German. I'm still learning marketing. So I'm trying to keep learning and acquiring new skills to develop 6 pins in a chain, blah, blah, in a shoe. So this is one thing. And the other thing would be to put more effort, consistency in blah, blah, in a shoe and 6 pins in a shoe. Because to be honest, I've been struggling with consistency, because studying full-time, working full-time, it's very hard. And juggling those 2, 6 pins in a shoe, blah, blah, in a shoe is even harder. So even though there's a lot going on, I want to be more consistent in developing these 2, which I love, which are my babies. So, and I'm
gonna keep in check.
Yeah, please. And I really want to inspire other people into action. So this is the reason why I created Baba and Ushu, for people like you to share their stories and get other people to go into action. So I really hope that people watching those interviews will be inspired to kickstart their adventure in entrepreneurship or in the artistic world. Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be part of this community, because your community is growing and it's growing fast. And like I said before, I'm very proud of where you've reached. I know even before you started this, like you and I have been, on our journeys differently, but together for a long time. Yeah. So I am celebrating you today. Today, I am choosing to celebrate you. And I know by the time this goes up, it's going to be after International Women's Day. But happy International Women's Day, darling.
Thank you. You too.
I am shouting you out this month. You are doing great. And please keep smiling, and calling me darling. It makes me feel nice. But
yeah, darling is our favorite, if you don't know. So I call everyone that I love darling. So Yeah,
Oh, you love me. Oh, I love you too,
yeah.
man.
And I really like that, empowering women, celebrating each other, pushing each other up. As you said,
Yes,
there is space for everyone. And whoever
yes,
is watching this, there's space for you. Don't doubt
yes,
yourself and keep growing. Start.
yes,
Start your
yes.
journey.
Even when you have your crazy days,
Yeah.
don't lose sight. Don't lose sight. My mentor, I have, I have a mentor now too.
Ah,
Who's me? She's always telling me, even with everything I've gone through life, if there's one thing I never forgot is who I was and where my vision for my life. She never forgot those two things. And when I tell you this lady is somebody, when she opens her mouth to speak, you want to listen. And the craziest part is what, when you have a mentor, you'd think these people have made it, right? I mean, they've seen
yeah.
everything. They have an answer to everything. But sometimes when she's being candid and be like, oh, I didn't even think you people would receive what I'm telling you like this. Because even sometimes I also doubt myself. I'm like, wow, see, this thing is everywhere. It's not just me alone. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. But it's showing up for yourself and, choosing to be your champion that is going to take you to places. It's
Love it.
really is.
Love
Yeah.
it. On these beautiful words, thank you so much for your visit on Blah Blah Industry with Grace. I'm so
I
happy.
hope this is not my one chance alone. I hope I get
No,
to
no,
do this
you
more
will come
often.
back. You will come back maybe in season
Yes.
3. So thank you so much for everyone who's watching. I encourage you to visit Tracey's page. Everything will be down below. Support her, share her work. It will go a long way. So thank you guys and see you on the next episode. Bye bye.
Asante. Bye bye. Bisous.